Alex comes from a long line of kind of digital and technology companies in his past, where he holds several senior roles, most recently in ad tech. So I wonder if you can talk to us about how you came into revenue management in the complex world of the technology stack that is hotels.
Yeah, so back in the days, we had a venture company in the ad tech industry where we were doing revenue management for online publishers. And the core business, sort of the core of that software was the optimization engine. So where we became the best in the world, even we won every single benchmark, even against Google at that time. Then we sold that company 2014. And I, as a CEO of that company, was part of the package deal. So I was locked in that deal for 3 years with the company that acquired us. And then no one else from our previous company, in terms of owners and so on, were allowed to contact me for 3 years. But then after 3 years and 1 day, the phone rang, and it was the previous founder of the previous company saying, "Alex, finally we can talk. I have an idea." And he told me about the idea about, I've identified sort of the hotel industry. So what we've been doing in the past for 12 years in the ad tech industry, we can bring that into the hotel industry, and we can really, do a tremendous amount of value in terms of automate what we've been doing in the ad tech industry. To automate the decision making in terms of pricing. And I pitched this for 1.5 minutes, and I said, I'm on. I'll quit my job.
You're involved. And in the last 7 months, because this time last year we had Opportunity 2018, you didn't exist as a company, or maybe in the initial stages, and you've grown to over 100 properties within 9 months, I think it is. Yeah. What's that key to success? What do you study, and what's the gap that you've managed to find?
Primarily, I would say there are 2 variables that has made it possible. The first one is that we early on, we were a bit lucky actually. We met with some tremendous people helping us out with the integrations with the right PMSs. When I say right PMSs, those that are open and are really easy to integrate with, and whereas really today it's really much of a switch-on process. So those hotels that are running on those PMSs can simply just switch on, and within 72 hours to, I would say, a week after that, they are live. That's been crucial to sort of scale, if you can say like 100 properties is to scale, but I think so during such a short period of time.
Sure, yeah.
The second thing is then what we also identified early on, which we still strongly believe, is that the ease of use of a system like a revenue management system needs to be really ease of use. And there we combine machine learning together with AI to be able to really make the life of a hotelier and a revenue manager as easy as it can get. So.
And I want to press you on that, because in the previous session you said it's possible in the world of revenue management systems that you can remove the revenue manager from the picture. Yeah. So if you're talking about tactical implementation of pricing and decisions versus strategic, who then takes on the ownership of the strategic direction if it's not the revenue?
Yeah, our stance sort of is not that we will replace the revenue manager. However, the task to set prices, well, we can't see that will be the future task of a revenue manager role. So what we'll simply do, if there's a revenue manager, what we're enabling is that we're freeing up so much time from that tedious task of setting prices. And then the revenue manager can work on strategic elements, such as answering those questions: who is going to sleep in my hotel, and how do I grab them, how do I reach them? Those questions we don't help hotels well, but so we do the tactical revenue management piece. And also, we talk about revenue management a lot, and that kind of title. One has to remember as well that the majority of hotels today don't even have a revenue manager. The share scale is really about those hoteliers that are stressed out, being a bartender, being a receptionist, being all these hats that they have to switch, right?
Typical hotel.
Yeah, and then they can, when they switch on Atomize, it just makes their life easier.
So what's your sales pitch? If a hotel has got a finite amount of budget to spend, coming from the advertising and digital background, Why would you convince them to buy a revenue management system rather than investing in digital media?
Yeah, so yes, as you say, I have a background in ad tech. One of those issues in ad tech or advertising is that you're always trying to find sort of the return on investment, and the bottom line is that you can never be as efficient in terms of return on investment as for a revenue management system. So for those cases we have in place, you have a ROI of 34 to 1, which I think you can't find in ad tech or advertising.
And with the constant changes in the market, I'm surprised it hasn't come up more, but say with the impact and the looming Brexit decisions coming, how do machines and artificial intelligence acknowledge those potentially slow or dramatic changes and react?
It's a matter, to start with, you have to look at where does a revenue management system like ours work in the most efficient manner. It's been mentioned, I think, 1,000 times today, but it comes down to data points. So we're looking at density of data points. Having said that, that means that our system makes best effect in a rural, sort of urban environment, where city center, where the dynamics is really changing all the time in terms of competitor pricing and search pressures data and stuff like that, and also obviously all the data in the PMS in terms of reservations, pacing, pickups and stuff like that. So in a dynamic market, the price fluctuations or aggressivity, I would say, is you can see more of compared to if you have a property on an island in the Pacific Ocean, for instance.
Good. And I suppose final question to wrap it up. We've spoken about quite a lot of change in technology stacks. So if you were changing completely an existing hotel or opening a new hotel and you had to install new systems, where does the revenue management system sit in order of priority?
I think that we have a number of clients right now. We have those that sign up as recently as today, and we say, like, you guys need to hold back a bit because we really need to rely on data points. We need historical data, or the algorithm, or the machine learning optimization engine needs that to be able to train on that data. It's super important to us to deliver like that kind of performance, because we know that we are in a trust business. And setting prices is nothing you can just, let's set something and see how it goes. We really need to provide prices that our clients can trust. And that's also, I think, is quite phenomenal, because since we started with Atomize, we started in March last year, for all those 100 properties, no one has left. And I think that's quite zero churn still. I think that says it all about the trust in the system, but it's crucial for us. It's crucial. We rather wait for half a year, so you need to collect data and then you can come back.
So you're saying 6 months is the minimum, or is that the ideal? What's your average time for the machine?
We actually usually say 12 months plus,
12 months.
Because then we capture all seasonalities. If you have 24 months, then there are 2 layers of seasonalities. But we can do it. We can push faster release or launch if the client really insists. But we do not recommend to go 6 months, I would say.
And last question, I'm going to go and buy a revenue management system tomorrow. What are the 2 most important things I need to look out for?
To me, is automation is really the thing. We usually say that every report is a failure, because as soon as you need to pull a report, the report in itself doesn't really add value to your bottom line, right? Regardless what it says on that report. So keep an easy use system, regardless of what vendor it is, and that is easy to install. And today, with today's sort of tech stacks that are available out there, if you're not happy with one vendor, you shouldn't change, because that's as easy as it should be today.
Good, well done. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex from Atomize.
Thanks. Thanks.